Whether it is a god or a demon, as long as a man fantasizes about this character, he will steal all the abilities and attributes of the person he wants. Just because he has obtained the only special skill in the world, he is possessed by him. He lives in a world where adventurers are respected. One day, the world countless towers began to appear in various places. No one knows why these changes occurred. But people who have conquered the towers say that these towers are very similar to those in mythology. It seems that someone copied this story and constructed it in reality. Although we can get many myth-related ability. But the monsters in the story also appeared, and were still wandering around the Taehi dungeon. In order to protect the world from those things, people began to try to conquer the tower, and destroy the dungeon. The attackers were called dungeon adventurer men. Han Zhongming has had a dream of being an adventurer since he was a child, so he made up his mind to become an adventurer. For this reason, he studied very hard, and learned all the knowledge related to ability users for 1 year. He got his wish and ranked first in Despise. He was admitted to the Adventurer Academy, an academy only elites can enter, but becoming a dungeon adventurer didn't work as hard as he imagined. Soon he discovered that no matter how hard he tried, there was always an insurmountable level of strength, and he didn't acquire any adventurer-related abilities. His classmates targeted him everywhere, and even his teachers ostracized him, so he took a 2.5-year vacation and worked as a salty fish in the dormitory, abandoning his dream of becoming an adventurer. In a blink of an eye, he became a novel writer and spent 2.5 years writing it. He wrote a novel called The Horizon Cut by Bay Sword, which tells the story of a group of hunters living in the Forest of Death. They created various miracles and created magic in it. These are things that he cannot achieve in reality, but there is always a story. In the end, only one of the 7 heroes conquered the tower, and came out. He was the one with the sword that cut the horizon. When he finished writing the last story, it ended here. At this moment, he lay in bed, and turned on the TV. Rachel is the only adventurer in the country who can use the divine power. She has finished her mission in Old Britain, and is about to return to Country H. Now most of the towers have been conquered. She is getting closer to world peace. The men did not expect that he would do so at such a young age. He was already a god-level adventurer, but the men didn't have any skills. He obviously worked harder than everyone else, but he got such a result. At the same time, he was very broken. The computer is quietly making sounds. The world is looking for new novels to build his world. The perfect background used in the novel has been found, and can be applied to the building of the tower. A world of towers with the same setting is being generated. A tower has been created. The next day's TV broadcast. With an unprecedented piece of news, 2 new towers appeared inexplicably. At this moment, the man was gradually awakened by the sound of the TV. He took a closer look and found that the name of the tower was Arrow Cracked Horizon. It was so similar to the novel he wrote, and the host also accepted it. The man who saw the characters in the novel couldn't believe it, so he hurriedly ran to open the computer and found that the computer desktop was cleaner than his face. Even all the original files had disappeared, but the man was stunned. At the same time, a dialogue box suddenly appeared in front of him. "You, the novel I wrote, The Age of Destruction, has been chosen. Your great story is being built. A world has been built using your novel. A tower has been built with your novel." It startled a man. Did someone float my novel? The dialogue box showed him all information: name, Han Zhongming, category, story, author, title, the real owner of the 7 towers, special skills possessed at this time. The man also noticed this skill, because this is the only special ability in the novel that can invade all objects, including people and tools. Even gods and demons can obtain it. The man is thinking that he doesn't even have any skills, let alone any unique abilities. But now that he has this skill, let alone an adventurer, it is possible to surpass the god level, but the man thinks that these are useless. So he began to dream, thinking that he was drunk. He didn't know how many times he had been drunk this month. At the same time, a dialogue box appeared in front of the man. The only skill level in the world that possessed him was the initial level. At this time, his skill status was still unavailable. The conditions for activation are extremely harsh. First, the person being entered is not a real person. Second, the distance to the target is too large and the skill cannot be activated. Third, the character of the target cannot be understood. Fourth, the skill cannot be activated. Unable to understand the emotional values and desires of the target. Unable to activate skills. The man went crazy and cursed. "Are you kidding me? Why are the requirements so strict?" He thought that obtaining the only professional ability was a good thing. In the blink of an eye, he came to the supermarket because of his alcohol. At this moment, his mind was full of thinking about how to solve the problem with skills. Only by overcoming the constraints can he borrow power. At the same time, a voice interrupted him. "Are you the boss of Proof?" The man could only smile awkwardly. It turned out to be him. The girl next door, Li Ku, has a unique ability called Ice and Snow World, and the man taught him about it when he was a child. They had a very good relationship at that time, but later he was admitted to the academy, and had to avoid him, because he had no skills. It seems that he also knows it. At this time, the man was so embarrassed that he could dig out 3 bedrooms and 1 living room. He could only change the subject quickly, but he was discovered by Li Ku. He mentioned that you are a famous boss in the college because you refused the Tianfu trip. It will be one of the 3 major guilds in the country. It is a guild that others dream of, so you will become a celebrity. The men did not expect that after 2.5 years, people would still remember it. The man could only keep smiling because he did not want to talk to anyone about it. At the same time, the man caught an evil aura and pointed to the frame. The original author of Kle's story discovered the energy of Everton. The man in front of him suddenly fell down. Li Ku was about to go up to help him up but was stopped by Han Zhongming. At the same time, a dark purple aura came out of the man's body, and a group of blood wolves were summoned. It turned out that this man was a follower of the demon Everton, a group of people who hated the Adventurers Guild extremely and would not hesitate to sacrifice for their goals. Everything is a devil. Crazy believers are called fanatics in men's novels. Unexpectedly, they appear in the real world. At this moment, a group of ordinary people are trapped inside, and only 2 of them are from the Adventurer Academy. But only Reku has special abilities. Men would not let girls take risks, so they rushed to meet them. At this moment, 2 wolves had been successfully attracted by him. At this moment, a blood wolf rushed up. The men dodged sideways, but his face was scratched. He now in urgent need of a tool for self-defense. But there was only 1 billboard around. At the same time, the hungry wolf attacked again, and the man could only pick up the billboard to resist. He hit the billboard until it was deformed. He didn't know whether he could withstand the next attack, and Li Ku was also protecting him. Others couldn't get away, and came over to help. At this moment, the man was thinking about how to trigger the invasion skill. At this moment, a dialogue box popped up. The original author of the story was launching the possession arrival. At this critical moment, he suddenly recalled himself. He wrote the novel because he knew the world and the characters, so he remembered the Z that pierced the horizon. In the novel, the strongest swordsman man activated a skill, but the dialogue box warned that the power gap was too large. When you use a special skill, you have a 100% probability. The dead man hurriedly activated his skills again, and tried to imagine the smell of the adventurer's abilities, but he failed. Because the level gap is too big, the man cannot withstand the power of possession. Is the man going to die young? At this critical moment, he looked at the billboard in front of him thoughtfully. A character appeared in his mind, so the man activated his skills again. He was surrounded by a ball of blue light and exuded a different aura,